Welcome to the listening room, everyone. My name is Benjamin, and today I'm going to be ranking my top 10 albums along with my friend Simon. How you doing, Simon?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Benjamin?
Doing well. You ready to do this?
I'm ready. I'm
All right.
psyched.
So we'll just go one on one. Kind of. You'll do your number 10 album and work your way up to number one, and then I'll do the same. You'll do your number 10, then I'll do number 10, 9, 9, so forth. So if you want to begin with your number 10 pick, unless you want to do
Yeah, for
honorable
sure.
mentions first, do you want to do that after or before?
Hmm. Let's build some suspense. Let's build some. We'll save it. We'll do it between two and one.
Mm, I like that. Let's do it.
Cool. All right. So my number 10 is regrettably not one that I own physically yet. I will be purchasing it at some point, hopefully in the near future.
Sure.
It is the album Blue by Joni Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really only this year have started to down the Joni Mitchell rabbit hole. Um, Blue was not the first album of hers that I heard. It was actually Clouds, which is a wonderful album and was almost my number 10 pick. Because, in my opinion, they're just about neck and neck. But after listening to Clouds and, thinking it was a great album, I checked out Blue. And I think it really does just edge it out as being I don't know, something almost a folk classic, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
It's the vocalization on the album is really good. Joni Mitchell has a really unique voice,
Yeah.
and it's just paired with her style so well, right? Like if if nothing else, she found what she was good at, right, and she just pressed into that.
Yep.
Um, but it's just absolutely incredible. Really does. It's one of those albums that like moves you to listen to. So yeah, definitely a high recommend.
Good deal. All right, my number 10, and if I'm being honest, I don't know the order for the top 10, except for maybe the top 2 to 4. Um, Flip flops all the time, so is this going to be my number 10 for long? It could be number 8, 7, whatever. I'm not too hooked up on the order, but I'm going to start off with In the Hall of the Mountain King by Savatage. That's a very underrated power metal band from America. They don't get talked about often enough. This is the band that their members started Trans Siberian Orchestra. I don't know if like a lot of people don't necessarily know that.
I'm
Everybody
big.
knows. You like them?
I'm a Trans Siberian Orchestra head.
Yeah, yeah. They're I really like them, but this band kind of I don't know was the precursor to them. And I mean, it's got so many songs on here that like it starts off with 24 Hours Ago, and I absolutely love that song. Prelude to Madness and Hall of the Mountain King. That's one of the most epic metal songs I've ever heard in my life. White Witch is good. Last Dawn ends with Devastation, which is one of the best album closers of all time, in my opinion. And I really like that artwork. That's just really cool. And anyway, that's my number 10 pick in the Hall of Mountain King by Savatage. And your number 9 choice, sir, is.
My number 9 choice is one that I was telling you about before we started filming.
Yep.
Originally, because with my list, I realized it's a lot harder to actually assemble a top 10 list than I had anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when you recommended, different video ideas, and I picked this one, I was like, yeah, that shouldn't be too hard. I know what albums I like, and there's certain albums that I listen to every day.
Mm-hmm.
This album is not one of them. This is probably maybe a once a month, twice a month ordeal for me.
Sure.
Um, Typically, I would say when I'm feeling down, this is a very good album for when you're feeling, um, I don't know, almost it's a very grief ridden album, I would say. And that album is it's By the Time I Get to Phoenix by Injury Reserve. Um, the story of the album's creation is a really heartbreaking one. So Injury Reserve, they're a rap trio. There's Richie, there's Parker, and there's Steppa Groggs. Um, They had been together for years and years, right? They've been making music for over a decade at this point, if I'm not mistaken, maybe
Okay.
almost a decade. And I do apologize if I get any aspects of this story wrong. Um, I'm pretty
I
certain
wouldn't. I
I
wouldn't
know.
know.
Yeah, but so then they started work on this album, and it is one of the craziest albums I think I've ever heard. It does so much. It's a very maximalist album as far as like on the production side, um, but none of it feels like crowded to a point of uncomfortability. Right,
Mhm.
the few moments of the album where it is slightly uncomfortable are done intentionally and they're done well. It's really masterfully put together. But really, they've said in interviews it was Steppa J. Groggs, who was um, really pushing the sound of the album and kind of driving it in the creative process. Um, Obviously, it was the three of them, but he was a big advocate for this kind of crazy sound. And then
Mhm.
tragically, while they were working on the album, he passed away.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, and so now this rap trio that's been making they're best friends. They've been best friends. They've been making music. They're left with this unfinished album, but a lot of his vocals were recorded, and they had a lot of outtakes and stuff. And
Nice.
so after taking a break, processing their grief, Parker and Richie came back together and they finished the album. Um, and this is also regrettably one I do not own a physical copy of,
Mhm.
but again, that should change soon as well.
Yeah.
Um, they came together, they finished this album, and it is one of the most poignant pieces of, despite the intensity, despite the maximalist production, and just the craziness of certain tracks, like "Footwork in a Forest Fire" is bananas. It's so good. They have these big intense moments on the album where it's just boom, 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 right? Just it's full, and then the last two tracks, "Knees" and "By Storm," are maybe the two most beautiful rap songs I have ever heard. I cannot recommend this album enough. In the end, slight spoilers for the honorable mentions, but it pushed out. I think it's pronounced seashells or
Mhm.
Seychelles. I don't know, by Masayoshi Takanaka, which is an incredible album. If you've heard it, you know what I'm talking about. It's such a vibe. But I could not include this album.
Great choice.
Benjamin,
Um, and I'm gonna send me a list of all these albums after so I can check them out. Um,
I will.
because what's the point in doing these if you can't like do listen to new music, right? My number nine. The, we were talking earlier about artists who have multiple great albums, or at least I was. And which one do I pick? This band flip flops so much for me, but this album that I'm gonna pick is the most consistent. It's gonna be Iron Maiden's Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Man, the glare sucks. What in the world? That artwork I like a little bit, but I can see why people wouldn't prefer it. But yeah, it starts off with it's kind of a concept album, but they kind of like almost only through the first five songs, I guess, and then the last three are kind of standalone songs, I guess. Moonchild kicks off, really great song. It's a very melodic album in a lot of ways. It's not so heavy like a lot of metal bands are. They have this album has some melody to it. Infinite Dreams is great. Evil That Men Do, title track. That's a really epic song. Only the Good Die Young is probably my favorite song in the album. It also is the closer. And consistently, this has probably been my favorite Maiden album. But if you ask me, and I don't know, a couple weeks from now, I'll be like, oh, this one's number 5 because like they just they rotate so much. But like this is probably this is where it'd have to be for me right now.
It edges it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's like that though. I'm the same way. My number. What spot is it? 5. My number 6. My sixth album was the same way, where it was like
Yeah.
he has 2 albums that are so good, but it's just in the end it's just that much for now. Who knows where it'll be in, like you said, a month.
Yeah. A lot of people probably say that's the people, if they don't listen to Iron Maiden, like a lot of people don't listen to them after this album, which I like all their stuff, but like a lot of people say that's the last great Maiden record. All right, your choice, sir.
Yes, so my number 8 album is the beautiful Grace by Jeff Buckley.
Yes.
Another one that I don't have physically, though I have ordered it.
Oh, really?
I think I might have gotten scammed, though, because I ordered it for Christmas.
Oh.
And it's April 26th, so...
Discogs?
No, I don't... It was like an actual store.
Oh.
So, they wouldn't have been the ones not to,
Mm-mm.
To ship it. It must have just gotten lost in transit, or I don't know.
I guess.
But, again, Jeff Buckley, this is a classic. I don't feel I really have to go too into this as far as, like, I don't know. I think most people have heard this album. If you haven't heard this album, listen to it. It's beautiful. And the song Lover You Should Have Come Over it knocks my socks off every time.
Yeah.
I've heard that song specifically, I don't know, 50 plus times minimum, right? And still I listen to it and feel the same emotions I did when I first heard it. It is just such a, I don't know, it's a very like sweeping album, I would say. It's like it's big but not packed. It's like, whereas the Injury Reserve album is big because it's maximalist. There's always something going on. Boom, 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 boom. There's 50 different things you could hear in a 10-second snippet, right?
Yep.
This is not that, but it's still it's emotionally, it's the emotional equivalent of that production. It's should have come, right? It's like, oh yes, Jeff Buckley, they should have come over. It's beautiful. There's not a single song on here. I've heard people say, which track was it? I think it was Corpus Christi Carol. I've heard some people say is the stinker on the album.
Okay.
Right, ruins the album. They're wrong. If someone says that, get them out of your life. Because Jeff Buckley does not have a single bad song. I cannot recommend this album enough.
Yeah, I'm trying to actually, like you said, I'm sure, like, on all these people are going to say, like, certain songs are bad, or even, like, people probably don't even like these albums. But, like, I'm looking at all these albums, and I don't know if there's a single song in the top 10 that I despise. Or even, like, dislike.
Yeah, no, same for me. I mean...
Yeah. Not even this. No. No. Yeah, no, not at all. Is it my turn, I guess?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Love this band. One of my favorites of all time. I guess Maiden, Sabotage, yeah. Maiden for sure, Sabotage. Probably top 30. This band, I would say top 5. For sure. Gonna go with Journey. Frontiers.
Ooh.
Man, I heard this album for the first time and I'm just about like... That blew me away. Separate Ways, Worlds Apart. If you ignore the music video, because that... I don't know what in the heck they were thinking when they did that, but great album opener. Center My Love is probably my favorite Journey song of all time. That is such a beautiful song. Chain Reaction's a great hard rocker. After the Fall's fun. Faithfully is a great ballad. That is a great ballad. But then you get, like, that's side, A or 1. I don't know what this would have been considered. Probably side A is what it would have been considered. I have it on vinyl somewhere, but it's probably at somewhere else. But side 2 is underrated, in my opinion, because you have Edge of the Blade. Troubled Child is an awesome deep cut. Back Talk's fun. The title track's amazing, and then it closes out with Rubicon, which is a really cool song. But that's the remastered CD. I can't get enough of this album. It had to make top 10. But this is another band where, like, they have multiple albums that could have made top 10, but, like, this one definitely edged out everything else. Now for your sixth pick? Is it 6? Yeah.
7th.
Oh, it's 7.
That's 7. My 7th pick is Pink Moon by Nick Drake.
Oh.
Um,
Yes.
that is another. I feel like I have a lot of albums on my top 10 that are either folk or kind of folk leaning.
Hmm.
Um, and I have a lot of albums on my top 10 that are very, I don't know, I guess sad. Like Injury Reserve was sad. Grace was pretty sad. Um, more beautiful than sad, more sweeping than sad, but it has its moments.
Oh yeah.
And this is another one where, what? I guess a better word for it would be sentimental. I have a lot of sentimental picks. Um, but anyway, to get to the meat and bones of this pick, Pink Moon, the song itself, I don't remember how I came upon it, but I remember when I came upon it, I was sitting in my car
Hmm.
after I'd gotten off work. So it's dark outside. At this point, it was 11, 12 at night.
Yep.
And however I found it, I listened to it. May have been an Instagram post. It may have been, I don't know, right? But I thought it was a great song, so I went to listen to it. And I probably listened to it a dozen times, back to back to back, just sitting in my car, out in my driveway. It was and is so, so good. Such a beautiful song. And usually, not usually, but oftentimes, when you find a song that good, you listen to the whole album, and
Yeah.
it's a bit disappointing. Just because you find the high, right? You find the highest high on the album, and even if everything else is right here, it's not right here. So you're gonna be like, oh, that's a bit of a shame. And I would say, I'd say that's almost true for this album, honestly, but not in a bad way. I just think Pink Moon is like, top 10 favorite songs of all time for
Sure.
me. So it's really hard to get there, but the rest of this album is like right here, right? It was not a disappointment at all. Listening to the record, I was not sitting there like, wow, this is, it's not my number one album, right? But it's my number 7 for a reason. It is Pink Moon is perfection, and the rest of this album is the closest to perfection that you can get. Parasite is an incredible song. I love Parasite. I love Road. Road and Place, honestly, some of this album is at that level. Pink Moon is like 100, right? 100 out of 100.
Yeah.
There's a couple of the songs that are at least 99s. But yeah, I genuinely, again, I keep saying, cannot recommend this album enough. This is one, you know what? This one right here, I just realized. This is the first physical release.
Oh,
of an album
nice.
that I've owned. Cover's really cool. Very, I don't know, it's very much a product of its time.
Sure.
Released in the 70s, 1972. I'm not giving away a lot of, like, I don't know, details about these records, but, you can always look them up yourself if
Right.
you're interested. And I'll send you, like you said, we'll send each other full lists of our top 10 so that we can check them out. Maybe we'll do a follow-up at some point. Like rating each other's top 10 lists. That'd be fun.
Rank the albums in our top 10s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that.
That'd be cool. Like a part 2. Which will be interesting because we have very different music tastes.
Oh, yeah.
We converge for a lot of things, but like, not most, but several of the albums that you've brought up so far, I haven't heard. I haven't even heard of because I'm just not plugged into that sort of.
Oh yeah. Well, you probably heard Journey though.
Oh, I've definitely heard Journey. Don't get me wrong. I've heard of all these people, but the specific albums, not so much. So I'm excited to delve into those and expand my horizons, right? But yeah, that being said, Nick Drake, Pink Moon, listen to it.
Yeah, I don't remember if I've heard his stuff. I'm pretty sure I've heard his stuff, but like I've wanted to check out those albums. Funny thing when you mentioned that about a song will open an album and then the rest will feel as though it's not to the level. That was the same way with a couple albums that I got for my birthday like many years ago. It was Rush Signals. It opened with Subdivisions, and that song blew me away to the point where I didn't remember the rest of the album. And then the same thing went with Deep Purple's Perfect Strangers. It opened up with Knocking at Your Back Door. Didn't remember the rest of the album. When I went back and re-listened to them, like, actually this year probably, I'm like, wow, these albums are actually amazing. Like, as a whole. And I can, like, get past the high of the opening track and hear all the amazing parts of the rest of the album. But I do get that feeling, though, when something hits that extreme high and the rest just kind of falls a little bit short.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll have
That's
heard
just
of.
a testament, though.
Mm-hmm. Go
That's
ahead.
just a testament, though, to how, I don't know, incredible. Because, I think there are bands that are good at making albums, and there are bands that are good at making songs. And those
Mm-hmm.
two things are not necessarily mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
But, like, let me see. Checking if I have a good, I don't know, example of that. Okay.
Easy for
I
me.
think, I think Pink, this is one of my um, honorary mentions, was Dark Side of the Moon. Incredible album. Incredible album. I think as an experience, it's probably top 10. Sitting there listening to it,
Oh yeah.
um, individually, like I'm mostly an album listener, but I do playlists as well, right?
Sure.
Um, for me, from all of these on my top 10 are incredible listens as an album, but I'll also, I can put some of the songs on different playlists, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of Pink Floyd songs, for me, in my opinion. There's not a lot of Pink Floyd songs that are necessarily playlist songs because they flow so well on the album, right?
Yes.
It almost feels like an injustice listening to them outside of their context. Um,
Absolutely.
it's not saying that they're bad at making songs. It's just saying, again, in my opinion, they are an album band.
Yes.
I don't
Absolutely.
necessarily think the same about Nick Drake. I think in that context, it's just that the song was so good that
Mm-hmm.
it overshadowed a lot of their, like you said, the rest of the album is still incredible, but this song is like, whoa, that's what you're caught on for, weeks.
Yes. I don't think you'll have heard of this next pick because this band's obscure. And I don't remember how I found it. I think probably watching another person's YouTube video, I found it. This is one of those albums where I was like, where has this been all my life? And I mean, I'm still, like, not that old, but, like, at the same time in a musical journey, especially through the heavier stuff, I'm like, this album's incredible. This is a winter metal album, in my opinion. Like, if I were to listen to this during the winter or Christmas time, this is it. Outside of, obviously, Trans-Siberian Orchestra is more Christmas. This is more of a winter album. The album is The Mantle by Agalach.
I like that album cover.
Oh, it's so
It's
good.
cool.
This was released in my birth year. This is probably one of, if not my favorite albums from my birth year, 2002. Trying to open the liner notes, but it's got lyric sheets and all that. I was trying to find the. Okay, that's not what I was looking for, but anyway, they go. This is folky, very folky. So I don't. You might like this. This is kind of the CD on it. It's got a quote from Mr. Emerson there. Happiest man is he who learns from nature the lesson of worship, which that's kind of the music they have. So like very folky, nature related type stuff. It's heavy, but kind of not in an evil type of way. It's just heavy and very atmospheric. How many tracks does it have on here again? It's like it doesn't have usually there's songs on titles on the back, but they didn't. They just had the label right there. And if you can ever find an original on vinyl, good luck. It's stupid expensive. So even the CD is not cheap anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 songs. There it is.
I have to check this out. It sounds really cool.
It's really it's an experience. Celebration for the Death of Man instrumental that opens it up, kind of leads you into In the Shadow of Our Pale Companion. Really good. I'm the Wooden Doors is an awesome song. Love the drumming in that. The Lodge is great. You Were But a Ghost in My Arms. A Desolation song closes the album out. It's just a good album. And I almost didn't put it in the top 10, but I listened to it right before we went on. And I'm like, it's got to stay in the top 10. It just has to. But yeah, that's my next pick.
Cool. That's definitely one I'll be checking all these out, but
Sure.
that's one that's probably the one I'm looking forward to the most so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
For my number 6, I think this is the one that you'll mess with the least on my list.
Okay.
I know you're not the biggest rap guy,
Mm-mm.
though I do still think you'll like the Injured Reserve album.
Oh yeah,
I
I'm
know I've
sure.
recommended it to you before.
Hmm.
Um,
I think I've listened to
but this
some of
is
it.
it's yeah, you did. You told me you listened to Knees, I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, this album is probably the one I could talk the most about on the list because no, that's not true, but it's probably the one I could talk about the second most on the list. So I'll hold myself back for time's sake, so we're not here for like a 4-hour recording. But this album is called "All My Heroes Are Cornballs" by JPEG Mafia.
Oh yeah.
He is an experimental rap artist, rapper and producer. Does all his own stuff, and he's got a lot of great albums. This is the one that I mentioned earlier, where it was. He's got two albums for me that were like neck and neck. It's this album, "All My Heroes Are Cornballs," and his collab album with rapper Danny Brown, "Scaring the Hose."
Mm-hmm.
Um, both of those albums are really good, but this one just wins it out for me because I really like the. It's very melodic.
Yeah.
And it was a complete 180 from his previous project, Veteran, which was very. It still had its moments. Like you could almost see the caterpillar to this butterfly, right? You could see some of the essence of this album found in that in tracks like. Hold on, I'll have to look at the specific name so I don't butcher it because it's an address. 1539 North Calvert. Great song, but you could very much see the almost like the bones, right, for this animal that ends up getting fleshed out here.
Yeah.
It's very, I don't know, the vibe that it brings is almost a little bit dreadful, right? It's a very on edge album, right? There's moments where one of my favorite beat switches of all time is in the second song on this album, Keenan versus Kel, which is, again, like I keep saying, it's a very melodic song, and he's kind of, marching forward with the flow a little bit. It's very loose. And then, it kind of builds up to a point, and then the beat completely cuts out, and an electric guitar comes in, and it just
Ooh.
is this, vroom, right? Vroom, and the drums go, bah, 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 psh, psh, right? It's really good. When I first heard that beat drop, it was like, I don't know. I felt like, what's the blue guy from Watchmen? The one who evaporates people. I don't know if you know who I'm talking. Mr. Whatever. People will know. I felt like that guy. I saw all moments of time at once. Right? Really good. And that's not even the best song in this album. The best song on this album is the title track, "All My Heroes Are Cornballs." There's this incredible moment on that song where he just kind of stretches out the word gnarly. He says gnarly, like that, right? And then he takes that same sound bite and he samples it, chops it up, and stretches it out for like, I don't know, 30 seconds a song, right?
Oh wow.
So it's playing rhythmically. It's like gnar da 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 as the beat is going.
That's cool.
Which again, it's a very mellow beat, a very melodic beat.
Sure.
Crazy moment, absolutely insane. I think my highlights for this album are "All My Heroes Are Cornballs." Prone is really good. Post-Verified Lifestyle is incredible. Poppy, I Missed You is really good. He does this thing on some of his albums, and it happens here with Scrubs. You know the song "No Scrubs"
I think so.
by TLC? He interpolates it, so he is singing it himself with just like slight variations in melody, and then with his production. Really cool whenever he does that. He does that on another album, his 2021 project LP, and he does that one with what's the song? My loneliness is killing me inside. So believe it's a Britney Spears song if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, is it?
But it was, yeah, it's really cool when he does that. But yeah, there's just this is an album of moments, I would say. It's all good, right? Every song is good, and then there's that little bit on this little piece of every song that just, it's like that scene in Doctor Strange, right? where the Ancient One is like, you don't know anything, and blasts him across the dimensions. That's what you feel like
Yep.
listening to this. It's really good.
That's cool.
Again, I don't necessarily think it'll be your style because I know it's not your genre of music, but I do think you'll find things to appreciate in it.
Yeah, you and Gabe actually. For those of you out there, he's another one of our friends who really likes music, but he's into more rap music, I think, than probably both of us, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've both have recommended good stuff on that, so like, I'm definitely willing to try that out instead of like going to a website top 10 rap albums or whatever, or top 100, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, I trust you guys' opinion on that for sure because I don't know what I'm looking for on it at all. Um, this one, this album I listened to kind of nonstop a couple years back. Um, the first time I ever did dishes at work, I put this album on and I cranked it pretty much as loud as I could. Uh, Deep Purple Machine Head. Anybody will know this from the song "Smoke on the Water," one of the most famous rock songs of all time. Played on the radio to death. Like that song, that's not the best song in the album. Not anywhere close. Opens up with Highway Star, which is kind of the perfect song to kick off like what you're trying to do on dishes. You need to go fast. And so like this song kind of gets the energy up. Maybe I'm a Leo is a fun song. Pictures of Home I listened to the other day, and that might be my favorite on the album now. That is such a cool song. It's got great chorus. Never Before is good. Of course, like Smoke on the Water is good, but like it's played to death. Lazy's good, and then closes out the album with Space Trekkin', which also gets the energy levels back up to close out an album. The songs on here sound really good live because they add extra instrumentation and jam to it. And this was, 72 is when this was released. Deep Purple were pretty big on top of the world at that time. But that's my next choice because I don't remember. What is this, number 5?
5.
Yeah. Cool. Your next choice, sir.
I haven't even heard of that one or Smoke on the Water. So I'll
You
definitely
you would
give
know,
that
I
one a
think,
listen.
Smoke on the Water for
Would
sure.
I
I think you would. It's one of the most iconic riffs of all time. You would probably know.
definitely check it out.
Mm-hmm.
If it does sound vaguely familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but either way, give it a listen.
Yeah.
My number 5 is a really basic pick, but I feel like it's pretty basic for a reason.
Sure.
It's Pet Sounds
Yes.
by the Beach Boys. It is not the Beach Boys album I listen to the most. I actually have. Let me see. Where
Beach,
is it?
Beach Boys are
All Summer
so
Long.
good. Yes.
They are. I
So
love the Beach
good.
Boys. This is the one I go back to the most.
Mhm.
I think the highs on All Summer Long match the highs on Pet Sounds. I do. I think the title track, All Summer Long, is top 5 Beach Boys songs.
Mhm.
I don't know if it'd be top 3. Maybe. It might. But it would be number 3 if it was. I Get Around is incredible. Wendy is incredible. This is an amazing album, but I didn't pick that album. I picked this album. This album is it's consistently highs, right?
Mhm.
I don't think there's a single low on this album. Every song is I don't know, it's consistent, right? Like there's not a moment wasted, but they're not packing it in there, right? They're not boom boom boom. I mean, it's the Beach Boys, you know, what would you expect from the Beach Boys? You would expect
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, chill vibes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what this album delivers on. It's just it's very good for like going on a walk, right, on a sunny day. It's good for going to the beach, right, or going to the pool. I mean, you know, Beach Boys, of course, they'd be good for for the beach, right?
Sure.
But Wouldn't It Be Nice is incredible. I think that is probably my favorite Beach Boys song of all time. Again, you know, that's kind of a basic pick, but I feel like with the Beach Boys, like their big songs are big for a reason, you know. Just because their deep cuts are good doesn't mean that their number one song is going to be not good or better, you know. But yeah, Put Your Head on My Shoulder, Don't Talk, right? Incredible song.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a single song on here that is not perfectly produced, perfectly placed. Uh, yeah, 10 out of 10 album. Again, cannot recommend enough.
Mm-hmm. Man, that is such a great band. Uh, my next pick, I don't have a physical copy of. It's the only one I don't, and I thought I did, but I realized that my brother bought the album, and when he moved out, he took that album with him on CD. I have a physical copy of the symphonic version of this album with no vocals. It sounds really good. But when it came out, I remember I blew my head off. It was so freaking good. Um, the War to End All Wars by Sabaton. That album is the most recent album for now. Obviously, they're still together, but they're one of the most popular metal bands right now, I would say. So it's kind of like people are probably like, "Oh, why do you like this band?" Right? But like I've always liked their like real war story lyrics. Like it's not like just made up stuff, which is like has its place, but like the music they put it to is just incredible. And if you listen to the symphonic version of it, there's no lyrics, so you don't have to worry about like vocals or whatever. And it sounds really nice to listen to. I heard Stormtroopers for the first time, which opens the album, and I was like, I was worried that the rest of the album was not going to be able to live up to it, but I was wrong. Dreadnought, killer song. The Unkillable Soldier, incredible song. Soldier of Heaven, probably the more famous song off this album. What an incredible song. Lady of the Dark, that's such a memorable chorus. Christmas Truce is a really good song. It's about when was it Germany and I don't remember if it. This is where the issues of history are getting in the way. I don't remember if it was Germany, America. They were obviously this is World War One, so they were fighting. But on Christmas Day, they did the ceasefire, and they all like play games and exchange. Yeah, that was okay. I was like, I don't remember completely, but like that's a really cool story. But it's set to a really like Christmassy song. So like that's this is also kind of a little bit of a wintry album in a little bit of ways, probably because of when did it come out. Well, I guess it came out March 4, but I kind of associate it with around Christmas time for some reason. But that's my next pick that I need to get on vinyl or CD. I have the symphonic version on vinyl, but like that's if you can find that, that's not cheap to find. That was a limited edition because I think it's a blue vinyl, and they didn't release it after that. But that's my next pick.
Cool. My number, what is this, 4, right?
Yeah.
My number 4 is an album that came out last year.
Oh, yeah?
It came out in December. So it was not on a lot of year-end lists. Year-end lists. If it came out in November, I believe it would have been top 10 on most lists. It is an incredible album. I found this album in January and have listened to I've listened to it just about every day since I found it. At least a couple songs from it.
Mm-hmm.
This is really this is a top 10 album list, right? So we're glazing every album, but this is one that I could like I want to praise the most because this was made by one guy, right? I mean, there's credits from other people, but he's a solo artist.
Sure.
It is Heavy Metal by Cameron Winter.
Okay.
I recommended you this album.
Yes, I have listened to some of that, and that is a great record. Actually, have I listened to that whole thing? I say it's a great record. From what I've heard, it's a great record. But I'm pretty sure I've listened to most, if not all, that album.
It is absolutely phenomenal. And it's so this man, Cameron Winter, he's the front man of a band called Geese.
Yep.
Geese are great. I really can't recommend Geese enough either. Their project, what was their 2023 album? 3D Country. Their album 3D Country is really good. There was an EP of leftovers called 4D Country. That was really good as well. And he's the frontman, right?
Mm-hmm.
So somehow in between all the shows that they do, they're in New York City is where they're based. So they do a good amount of shows around there, tours as well and stuff. But in between, all the making music with Geese, touring with Geese, doing shows, he threw together this album, right? His first solo work. There are a couple of singles, but his first, solo album.
That was his first? That's impressive.
Yeah, his first album, and the only solo music he released before it were two singles a couple months before this album.
Okay.
Those are really good too. I would recommend those, but the album's definitely clears him. Um, it is incredibly cohesive. The lyricism is incredible.
Oh yeah.
Um, just in the first song, it's called "The Rolling Stones." He has lyrics like, let me see, like Brian Jones, I was born to run. Um, let me pull him up. I don't want to butcher him. It was really good. Like Brian Jones, I was born to run towards a month ago, or towards the swimming pool. I think it was towards the swimming. It was towards the swimming pool
hmm
because Brian Jones. If you don't know who Brian Jones was, he was the lead singer of the Rolling Stones.
Huh?
I believe he was the lead singer, but he
Mick
was in the
Jagger
Rolling
was
Stones.
Mick Jagger was the lead singer
Mick
of
Jagger
Rolling Stones.
was.
Uh-huh. But
Who's Brian Jones?
was hold on. May I actually
I'm not a big
pull this
Rolling
up.
Stones head.
Yeah, they're I like them. But well, actually more on them in another video. Not this one. He was the founder of the Rolling Stones. A slide guitarist, he went on to sing. He did backing vocals, so he did vocals on
Okay.
there.
Some vocals.
He died he was born in 1942, died in 1969. So they weren't even, I mean, they were probably big, but I don't think they were as big as.
Hmm. It was really tragic, but
Yeah.
these this lyric, which I will not, be like read off the whole song. But you got to go listen to it to get everything. But um, he starts it off. He says, "I will keep breaking cups until my left hand looks wrong, until my miracle drugs write the miracle song. I will keep rolling down until my best shirt rolls off, until the conga line behind me is 1,000 chickens long." So just insane, but in the best possible way. Like I mean that as a compliment. It's very poetic, but it's sly at the same time, right? He's got um, like a bit of a smirk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then it's like Brian Jones. I was bored to swim towards a month ago, towards the Rolling Stones, towards me and you swimming alone. If you don't know how he passed away,
Yeah.
drowned in a swimming pool, right?
Yes, less than a
Uh,
month after he was dismissed from the Rolling Stones.
yeah, very sad.
Oh yeah.
And then later on, my favorite lyric on this song isn't even that. Um, my favorite lyric it's that same, the like Brian Jones, right? It's the same part of the song,
Yep.
but it's the next iteration of it.
Mm-hmm.
He says, like Hinckley's son, I was born to dance with a candy gun towards the president's ass, towards me and you. If you don't know who Hinckley is, who that's referring to, it was John Hinckley Jr. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
Jr. John Hinckley Jr. sounds right. He was in love, not in love. He was obsessed with an actress, I believe Jodie Foster. Liked her so much that he thought if he shot Ronald Reagan, she would fall in love with him.
Nice.
I didn't think I'd be going down this rabbit hole, but it is so fun. He thought that if he shot Ronald Reagan, she'd fall in love with him. So he did. He shot Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan survived. Hinckley was sent to. I don't think he was sent to prison. I think it was a mental institution because he was
something.
mentally unwell.
Oh yeah.
He has since been released, and now he has an album out. He has a YouTube channel where he records songs, uh, and and uh, and he paints and sells it on eBay. I am desperately trying to get a John Hinckley Jr. original, but every time I followed him on Twitter, right? I deleted my Twitter for a
Sure.
while, but now I have Twitter. I followed him on Twitter. I need to. I'm gonna download the app and turn on notifications for him so that next time because he'll tweet, he'll be like, new painting listed for a deep discount. And I always miss them. I'll be like 30 minutes late and I'll miss it. So I need to be on top of it. So one day I'll have a John Hinckley Jr. original.
Wow.
But anyway, incredible album.
Mhm.
The best songs on here are The Rolling Stones, Love Takes Miles, Nina plus Field of Cops, $0 and can't. Okay, there's no bad songs. Just listen to the whole thing. There's no bad songs.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
reading
fair.
half the songs and looking at the ones I didn't say and like, well, those are good too. So just
Hmm.
give the album a listen. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah. My number 4. Why did the disc just pop out? Wow, that is loose in there. This is well. This CD is probably stupid old. How old is this? This is probably an original CD. I mean, obviously this would have come out on vinyl sooner because the way. Anyway, um, I've always liked the. Okay, everybody knows Black Sabbath, obviously. Ozzy Osbourne was their original lead vocalist. Went all the way through the '70s. He was fired by the band. So they bring in, like, that band should be dead at this point because now the singer's so beloved. They bring in Ronnie James Dio from the band Rainbow. He also was on Elf before that, but Rainbow's the bigger band. And an album that should have killed the band pretty much brought them new life and energy. I'm talking about Heaven and Hell. He is a master songwriter. His lyrics are incredible. And they sound like a different band. They sound much more energized. They sound ready for the '80s, and they would release an album with him later, following year, and that one's good. But this one's just a touch better. Kicks off with Neon Nights, incredibly energetic opening song. Children of the Sea is a much more mellow but beautiful song. Lady Evil's cool. Title track Heaven and Hell is one of my top 10 favorite Sabbath songs. That is an incredible song. Lyrics are great on that too, but I don't think there's not a lyric sheet in this because the CD is so old. Yeah, Wishing Well's great. Die Young's one of if not my favorite song in the album. That is such a cool song. Walk Away and Lonely is the Word, those last 2 songs of the album. No one talks about them. Those are really underrated, in my opinion. That's a great way to close off the album with those 2 songs. And of course the production is just bombastic and incredible. Like, it sounds crystal clear. It was incredible. So yeah, still listen to this nonstop when I do listen to it. Heaven and Hell by Black Sabbath. Now for your number 3?
Number 3.
Yes.
So my number 3, it is Everybody Else Is Doing It, So Why Can't We?
Cranberries.
By the Cranberries. Yeah, you know it.
Yep.
Honestly, this is another album. It's another Nick Drake situation where, but I would say it's not just one song, it's a few. I think Linger might be my favorite song of all time.
Oh,
honestly. Wow. It is so good. I play it on piano, right? That is the only song, not the only song that I know how to play. I play it every day on piano. Every day when I get home from work, I will, and first thing, I'll sit down, I'll play that, I'll sing it top of my lungs. It completely decompresses me. So good, right? It's a very cathartic song.
Mm-hmm.
But there's other songs on here that I think I think Linger is not a 100 out of 100. I think it's a 500 out of 100.
Yeah.
I really don't think there's any other songs for me that are at that level. Though some come close. But I think Dreams and I think Sunday, I think those are 100. I think those are perfect songs. Again, those are the hits, but they're the hits for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times people hate on, the popular songs because they want to feel good, right? They want to feel like part of a club,
Yeah.
Like, I actually know the niche obscure songs, which is not to say that the more niche songs are bad, right? Because the Cranberries aren't niche.
No.
It's not to say that the more niche songs are bad or that there's anything wrong with those being your favorites. But I think oftentimes the popular songs are popular songs for a reason, and that is definitely the case here.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 3 of the most beautiful, most well composed songs that I have ever heard, and it's the content of the songs isn't always the happiest, right? Like Linger is obviously a very emotional song about this heartbreak. This woman, I don't know, being played by the man that she loves, right?
Yeah.
It's a very sad story. But every time I listen to it, there's just a big goofy smile on my face, right? Not because it's funny, but just because it's such a well put together song.
It's a
Um,
masterpiece.
it is. It's the masterpiece.
Hmm.
And it's simple. Like it's not. My favorite album of all time is one that has a lot more complexities on it, right? It's very um, not scattered, but it does a lot, and it does it well, and that's great, right? And really works. But here it's like sometimes less is more,
Hmm.
and right here, you know, it's definitely it definitely works.
Yeah.
So, and every song, I've only mentioned the hits, but every song on this album is great. Pretty is really really good. Put Me Down, I Will Always, and How. The last three, that's a really good like final three. Uh, what do they call that? When the
Closer.
tracks are back to back. Run.
Run.
Closer is also, but that is one of the best three-track runs, in my opinion. But um, but yeah, cannot recommend this album enough.
So, funny thing, I have that on CD and I have not listened to it, but I remember, yeah, I know. Apparently, I've had it I think a couple years because I went to North Carolina to visit my brother, and there's a place out there called McKay's, and it's kind of like a half price books, but like it's got cheaper selection. There's like, and so I grabbed a ton from there. I brought probably like 50 CDs and a ton of vinyl back. Yeah, it was stupid. I filled that whole suitcase up. It was it was tight, but I made it. But that I was looking through my collection again because I'm trying to like move stuff in various spots, and I found that CD. I'm like, I need to listen to that, so I know where it's at. I can actually go get that, and I have it on physical copy, so that's great.
Dude, give it a listen. It's really good.
I'm looking forward to that for sure. All right, my number three has this probably has the best guitar work of all time on it. I mean, maybe not all time, but like in my opinion, some of the best guitar work of all time. Um, because this band, fresh and new, arrive on the scene in what year? 83, I think. We'll pretend it's 1983. I think it is, but um, album is no parole from rock and roll. Have you heard of it?
I believe so.
I think so.
I know so.
They brought in the vocalist, one of my favorites, Graham Bonnet. He's done a lot of albums. Okay. You know the song "Since You've Been Gone," right? By Rainbow.
Like
It's
the
been in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
No, I thought I was thinking you were talking about the Kelly Clarkson. This.
Uh, no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no. Anyway, the that song he's the lead vocalist on too. But
I do know that song.
yeah, that's a good song. But it's not on here. They brought in guitarist Yngwie Malmsteen. That's not how like for anybody wanting to type that name in. I didn't know how to pronounce that name for the longest time, and I was like, "How in the world do I say that?" And then I heard someone say it. I was like, "Yes, finally." But he's made a great solo career. His stuff is very what people would call neoclassical. So like he shreds up the whole guitar. He uses the whole thing, like pretty much every note. Like he's absolutely incredible. Kicks off with "Island in the Sun," which is probably the most commercial song I guess on the album, but like it's no less good. General Hospital, Jet to Jet, Hiroshima Mon Amour. That is an incredible song. The lyrics on that are absolutely insane. Bigfoot is an underrated song. Star Car Lane. Suffer Me ends the album, and it's absolutely incredible. The last three, as you said, that a run of songs right there is killer. And I know that's a bonus CD, but like or I don't think it's a bonus CD, but there's like a bunch of bonus instrumental demos on it, which are good, but like it ends at Suffer Me, so like there's truly 10 tracks on the original stuff. Highly recommend checking it out for anybody who's willing. I actually did an album review on it not long ago. I'm pretty sure on this channel, like last week or something. I don't remember.
You did. That's where I recognized it from.
Mm-hmm. Really cool. But it's like it's rock and roll, but it's not like it's not heavy metal. It's not like crazy and it's not. It's very masterful, but like the talent on that's crazy. And now for yours, your number two.
Yes. It's a basic pick. Um,
Nothing wrong with
anytime I
that.
tell someone this is one of my, nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in defense of the basic picks, right?
Oh yeah.
Uh, anytime I tell someone this is like my, in my top five, they roll their eyes. They're like, yeah, of course it is. But yeah, of course it is. It's amazing. I
Sure.
don't have this one on vinyl because I want it's from 1967, and I would prefer to have an original pressing, or at least an older pressing, which of course they're going to be
Did you give me a
expensive.
copy of this?
Yes,
Yeah.
you know what it is.
Uh huh.
Yeah, so it's I don't have the physical copy yet because I'm going for one of the OGs, but it
Mm-hmm.
is the Velvet Underground and Nico, their collab album produced by Andy Warhol.
Yes.
What can I say that hasn't been said? It set the foundation for it was so ahead of its time.
Oh yeah.
So much of modern music has been influenced by this album and this group. Lou Reed is amazing. Nico is amazing. Everyone else in the Velvet Underground is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Warhol is a beast for producing this album.
Oh yeah.
There's not a single miss, right? Every track on here does exactly what it's supposed to and gets out in the best way possible. The last two songs are some of the craziest, most experimental songs of their time for sure. Like
Mm-hmm.
no one else was making music like this, or at least no one else that I've heard of.
I
There
don't.
was someone else doing it better, but
I haven't heard anything either.
yeah. Your European Sun is insane on its own. It's so good. I genuinely like it. I know people that aren't the biggest fan, and I don't blame them. It's pretty rough around the edges, but it's rough around
Sure.
the edges in a great way, right?
It's raw.
The Black Angels Death song, it's raw. Exactly, it's raw. The Black Angels Death song is incredible. That looping violin, or that it's like, oh yes, put it straight into my body, right? I want to be those like sensory deprivation tanks that they put you in.
Oh
I
yeah.
want to experience that, but just with this, right? Blasting on all sides. It's so good. And of course, those are the two most experimental.
Mhm.
Everything else on here is still ahead of its time. Sunday
Oh, yeah.
Morning, I'm Waiting for the Man. Femme Fatale is really. I'm not going to go track by track. They're all 10 out of 10 tracks, right?
Yep.
Incredible album. Again, cannot recommend this enough. I am not a proponent for, like if you want to buy music, just buy the music, right? I don't think you need to have an original pressing.
Mm-mm.
I'm not like an audiophile. My record player, I'll show my record player. My record player is a.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, I think you were there when I bought it. Yeah.
Uh huh. Oh yeah.
It's a Winnie the Pooh. Pretty sure this is maybe not a children's toy, but
If it works, it's probably not. It probably is for. I wonder if they like when they had that. I don't know how old that thing is, but
yeah.
either way, they might have played children's stories on that because they have like children vinyl records. I wonder if they.
Yeah. It may be a children's toy. It definitely is old. It says it's got the Sears logo on it, but I don't know if I'll be able to show it. But it's like the old Sears logo. Let me see. Right there.
Oh wow!
See
Yeah.
it?
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, pretty old.
Does it say on the back there? Because it's like
It doesn't. It says
the outside
Walt Disney Productions in the corner.
on the outside back
This
part.
movie on the outside back.
Mhm.
Ooh,
Yeah, I saw. Happened to see that.
I've never even seen this. It doesn't say, but I could use this to find. Custom manufactured for Simpson Sears in Toronto, Canada. Assembled in Canada.
I'm gonna look.
That was there.
I'm gonna look this
Yeah,
up.
because there's a the model number is on here.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up because uh, let's see. Oh wait, no, I'm typing it in wrong. Record player, vintage electronics. Oh, that. How much did you buy that for?
$100.
It's going for a little more.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh wait, yeah, I found it on Etsy. Not too much more. It's like $106 on Etsy. Oh, it
Yeah.
got sold though. It looks
Yeah.
like, dude, you were right. There's a children's vinyls.
Mm-hmm. I've seen them at that same record store. Actually, they have a little section for children's vinyls that have like fairy tale stories and stuff on it. So that's pretty cool that you have that though. I forgot you
Yeah.
bought that.
Yeah, but I'll tell you right now, the sound quality is atrocious. It sounds
I bet.
like a product of its time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 1970s. Yeah. Sounds like a product of its time, but I love music, but I'm not an audiophile, right?
Same.
When I want to hear music in good quality, I'll put on a CD or, digital streaming is awesome. Streaming services might not be, but the concept of streaming is awesome.
Yeah.
But this is just, it feels so cool to have a record and put it on a, Winnie the Pooh vinyl record player from the 70s.
Yep.
I don't know. It's a cool feeling,
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that to say, I'm not a proponent for, if you want a record, you need to buy the original or you need to buy the, 180, whatever. Just buy the music you like, support the artists you love, right?
Yes.
Just if you want to own it, no one's gonna judge you, right? If someone's gonna judge you for owning certain copies, who cares what they think,
They are rich and have enough money typically that they
Yeah.
can be like, but us as people like, we just want the music we just want to listen to what we have,
Yeah, man. I don't have $1,000 to go drop on a single record, so I'm gonna buy what I like, and that's
Yep.
fine. All that to say, though, this is the exception. The Velvet Underground and Nico.
Yeah.
That album to me is worth it enough to where I think it'd just be cool. Cause also, okay, there's a YouTuber called The Bucket of Jake. I really like his
Okay.
stuff. He does music related videos. He has a video on some of the coolest album covers.
Oh yeah.
And the album cover for this, so I obviously don't have a physical copy, but that banana right there, right?
Peels.
It peels, and underneath it there's the naked banana. So I think it'd be really cool. That being said, of course, vintage, like original pressings with the banana peel attached are way more expensive because a lot of people peeled it off, which is what it was for, right?
Right.
That's awesome. In fact, I would rather have, these be rare than not rare because that means that people did what they were supposed to, right?
Mhm.
Life's about having fun.
Yes.
But I think it'd be really cool to have one with the peel on it. So
Yeah.
maybe one day.
Cool.
Now for your second pick.
Yes. And I realize now my top two albums. My favorite album is from my favorite band. My second favorite album is from my second favorite band. I just realized that. That's funny. Not how I intended it. I heard the single. Well, I mean, okay, so this album's not that old, or it is old, but like, I heard the single on YouTube from this band. First song. My dad hates this band because he doesn't like the lead singer's voice, but I was like, I'll just listen to it. I love the single, so I'm like, okay, I'll go to Half Price Books, and I'm gonna go see if the album's there. Sure enough, it's there. I haven't heard the album yet, so as I'm driving home, I listened to the whole album. It changed my life, right there. For just music that's so well crafted, it's a complete masterpiece. Rush Moving Pictures. The song I was talking about is Tom Sawyer kicks off the album. That's a great song, but like a lot of people are like, it's overplayed. I never heard it on the radio because my dad always skipped it, so I love the song. Second song, this is kind of an example of less is more. There's only 7 songs on here. It's only like 30-something minutes, but like it's well worth every bit of that 30-something minutes. There's not a dull moment on here. Red Barchetta, talking about literally the car. YYZ's cool. Limelight. Side two's better. Like side A's great. Side two's better. It's an 11-minute song. The Camera Eye. That's incredible. Witch Hunt is borderline heavy metal. Lyrically and just it's heavy. Like that is the heaviest song they wrote. That song blew my socks off, as you used earlier. And then Vital Signs is kind of sounds a little bit reggae. Like it's really cool track.
Really?
Yeah, it kind of has that feel to me, but can't get enough of this album. Moving Pictures by Rush, and definitely the top two albums were gonna be this one and my next pick. Everything else kind of can shuffle a little bit, but this had to be like number two for me. That changed my life in terms of rock and roll in the 80s. What I would really like, that changed my life. And now for your number one, which I am looking forward to. You there still? Nope.
Yes, I'm here.
There it goes. Yeah,
Plugging out a little bit, but-
yeah, that's all good.
So not time for number one yet. We got one.
Oh, yeah.
We got our honorable mention.
Thanks for the reminder.
No problem. So my honorable mentions are all albums that were on this list at one point and just had to be just were etched out, right?
Yep.
So I have a handful. I'm not going to go super deep into any of them, though they all should be listened to.
Yep.
First off, I've got, excuse me. First off, I have Dark Side of the Moon.
Yep.
Pink Floyd. I mentioned that one earlier, so no spoiler there.
Sure.
Second off, Purple Rain by Prince.
Oh yeah.
Incredible album.
Oh yeah.
Prince is great. The title track is great, but so are all the other songs.
Oh yeah.
By Prince and the Revolution. Demon Days by Gorillaz.
Oh yeah.
Gorillaz were my first band that I was like into. I got super into the lore. I did a middle school speech on the lore.
Oh really?
Gorillaz had.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Mikey, a mutual friend of ours, is the biggest Gorillaz fan I know, and I'm telling you now, I like even now, right? I'm not as big a fan as I used to be. They're still great. Their newest album was a little disappointing.
Yeah.
But not being as big of a Gorillaz head now as I was then, I'm still able to. Occasionally, I'll pull out something that like an old demo track or something that he's never heard before.
Yeah.
And not, blow him away. It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, incredible band. Really cool concept and really good album.
Mm-hmm.
A Love Supreme by John Coltrane.
Yeah.
I feel like this is an easy pick, and it really was. Like I wanted it on there, but just couldn't. Romantic Piano by Gia Margaret. That was my top album of 2023. It is an album of ambient and piano pieces. Really, really good. Gia Margaret is an incredible artist. Yeah, highly recommend. I have the shirt. She had a shirt with the main song Hinoki Wood. You might have heard it. It's the like the chill guy meme with the dog where he's got his hands in his pockets and stuff.
No.
Well, it ended up blowing up because of that, which made me really happy because now a lot more people know the song.
Yeah.
But I have the shirt. She has a shirt with the sheet music for that song.
Oh
on
yeah.
the front and back. So I was really happy to be able to pick that up.
Good deal.
Speaking in Tongues by the Talking Heads.
Yes.
The Talking Heads are great. I could have put several Talking Heads albums either on this list or in my honorable mentions. But that is my favorite one. Not a controversial take, right? Really good album. Yeah. I think I'm blanking on the name of the song. It's The Home Is Where I Want to Be.
Oh,
I'm already there.
that is my favorite song by the Talking Heads. I love that song so much.
Absolutely. This Must Be the Place, duh. Which
Yeah.
I originally heard, I thought it was a Lumineer song. Because on the
Oh, really?
for their self-titled album, which is the one I got. I bought
Hmm.
that CD. That was one of my not one of my first purchases, but once I really started getting into music, that was one of my first purchases.
Yeah. You know how I found
And
that
they have a
song?
cover. Oh,
So, my favorite television show of all time is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's a Marvel show. Kind of
good show.
underappreciated in a lot of ways. Oh, you've watched it?
I've seen most of it.
Yeah. So, they opened season 5 with that song. So, that's how I heard that song for the first time and how I found
That's
Talking
awesome.
Heads. But,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry to interrupt there, but that was just
No,
a
no.
silly moment where you, like, what in the world is this? This sounds great. And then, oh, this must be the place by Talking Heads.
I found it through. Well, obviously, I found it through the Lumineers cover, but didn't realize it was the Talking Heads. And then I believe it was Umbrella Academy.
Hmm.
Their newest season ended. Not their newest season. Maybe it was season 3. I don't know. They used it somewhere. They used it.
Yeah.
Good show, but it fell off for the last season. But when I heard that, I was like, wait a minute. Wait, this is the Lumineers song. Found out it wasn't, and that was like okay, because I'd already heard the what was the other Talking Heads song? Let me see. Their other really big one, not Psycho Killer, but that is a good song.
Hmm.
Once in a Lifetime. I
Yeah.
knew that song. That's a great song. But it was really funny hearing that and be like, wait, it's better than the Lumineers version is great, but it's better. Like I was
Right.
blown away. And then my final pick, I'm pretty sure it's Seashells, maybe, or Seychelles. I don't know. It's Japanese, but it's so written out in English. I'm not sure,
Hmm.
but it's by Masayoshi Takanaka.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh,
that's right.
Aside from the Beach Boys, no, he's neck and neck. It's neck and neck. I think him and the Beach Boys do beach music the best. It's so good. Every song on here is it's like so fun, so upbeat. Can't get enough of it. It's really incredible. Highly recommend. Now, my number one favorite album of all time. I have the deluxe
Oh yeah,
uh, vinyl edition, the box set. Ants from Up There by Black Country New Road.
the box set
Uh,
that he lent to me and I had for 6, 8 months. Didn't listen
something
to
like
it.
that.
Oh my gosh, and I couldn't find a chance, and I was like, I was getting married, so like it was even worse. I'm like, before this gets lost somewhere, I will return it to you, and I will listen to this through either streaming or something.
You'll get there. I have faith.
Yeah,
Once
yeah,
you
I'll
do,
get
you'll
there.
understand.
Oh yeah.
It's so good, and if you're watching this video, there's a pretty good chance that you're fairly in touch with um, I don't know, like what's big in the online music sphere.
Hmm.
This is definitely big in the online music sphere. A lot of people like this. A good amount of people that I recommend this album to anyone that will listen to me talk about music. This is my favorite album of all time. If I am not actively trying not to cry, I will cry every time I listen to it. I will cry to uh, the place where he inserted the blade. I will cry to Haldern. I will cry to Mark's theme, and I will cry to Basketball Shoes. Uh, every time. Beautiful songs. In fact, I am, if you don't mind, I'm going to go track by track on this one because this is
I don't mind.
worth the effort.
Hmm.
You have Intro, which is a short track. I think it's about a minute. Just instrumental. Incredible. For some context on Black Country New Road, there were, at the time of this album's recording and release, there were a 7-piece band. There's a drummer, there's a guitarist, there was the lead singer, his name was Isaac Wood. There was a saxophone player, there's a violinist, Georgia Lewis Charlie. Did I say the bass player? I don't know, there's 7 of them, right? And they're all awesome. All of them are incredible at what they do. Some of them have different side projects or will, come out at other artists' concerts, or record on other albums and stuff. And everything that they touch turns to gold. They're Midas, right? It's
Yep.
really cool. This album, just very shortly before this album released, they canceled their tour that was upcoming, and
Dang.
Isaac Wood, the lead singer, announced that for mental health reasons he was leaving the band.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, so it was a very tumultuous time.
Mm-hmm.
Actually just released their first studio album since he left the band, which is really good. It's a completely different vibe. Every one of their albums are very different. I also have right here. So I'm reaching over. I have a couple vinyls sitting next to my vinyl player that I've played recently.
Sure.
Which is funny. All three of the vinyls that I own by them, three of their four albums, they're all right here because I listen to them so often. They're my favorite band. This was a live performance they recorded about a year after he left. Uh, Completely new songs that they had written, like they wrote since he left the band. They're constantly cranking out new stuff. It's crazy. Um, but yeah, so this was his final work with them, and it's really a powerful work. You have Chaos Space Marine, beautiful song. You have Concord, beautiful song. Concord is a theme that reoccurs on this album.
Uh-huh.
There's a few different things that do. They keep coming up. Concord. Um, they refer to clamps a lot in various, like metaphorical ways. They're used
Sure.
as a literary device. Um, you have Bread Song, which is beautiful. The place where he inserted the blade blew me away. And here's the thing. It's funny. When I first listened to this album, Snow Globes, which is the next song, Snow Globes was the first song that I heard, and I always liked that song. It is a 12-minute song written from the perspective of, I believe, Queen Catherine, about her husband King Henry,
Hmm.
and how he treated her, right? So it's obviously very conceptual,
Yeah.
and it's very. I would compare it to the Black Angels' Death Song in a way,
Okay.
from the Velvet Underground,
Yep.
where it's kind of droning and it's the same thing repeating.
Yeah.
It's kind of a similar concept here. Snow Globes. There's, it starts off. There's, the guitar piece, bow, 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 repeating, and it builds up. It's like, there's the one, and then another comes in, and another, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's really good. And then the drums come in, and it's just indescribable. It's I don't know. It sounds like he's playing in like a different tempo than the song is.
Wow.
It's very, very avant-garde. But
Ooh,
it's
nice.
incredible. It's so, so good. Again, I cannot recommend this enough. Snow Globes was the first song. So I got Snow Globes, but the rest of the album just did not click with me. I don't know why, right? It's not like, obviously it's my favorite album now. It just wasn't the right time, I guess,
Oh yeah.
So the first time I actually listened to this album in full was when I dropped my now ex-girlfriend off at the airport. She was going on a mission trip, right? And so I was driving home, and I just put this on, and I was feeling fine, right? It was, but I put this on, and by like halfway through the album, just tears streaming down my face, right, on the highway. It was so, so good. And this is another album that I probably go back to, I don't know, at least once every couple days. I listen to it in full. So good. Good Will Hunting is incredible. Haldern is I would say the most beautiful track on the album.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Japanese exclusive. If you don't know, you'll probably know this, Benjamin. But if you don't know, typically CDs, vinyls cost more in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Relative, compared to how much they would be here.
Mm-hmm.
So oftentimes bands will have like Japanese exclusive tracks, whether it's a remix or, in this case, it is a piano rendition of Haldern by the band's pianist.
Mm-hmm.
I believe May is the pianist. May is the pianist. Tyler's the bass player, and George is the violinist. I know she is. She's half of the electronic duo Jockstrap. If you know Jockstrap, they're pretty good.
Heard of them.
But yeah, I would recommend checking out the Japanese, piano cover of Haldern. It's really, really good. Mark's theme. It's a short instrumental track on the album, written by the saxophone player Lewis. His uncle was Mark.
Okay.
And his uncle passed away. I didn't know this initially. I liked the song, right? But now that I know this, it's hard to listen to, but like in the best way,
Yeah.
his uncle Mark passed away, and he wrote this as a tribute to him. And you can really feel it. You can really feel the love in the track.
Yeah.
And then the track ends with, I believe it's the last ever voice memo, or like like voice text message, right?
Yeah.
That his uncle sent him. I think if I'm not mistaken, I read that he was out at bars, and he was like walking home when he sent him that message. But either way, it's heart wrenching to
Hmm.
listen to. Um, Crazy. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And then the final track on the album, Basketball Shoes, which is it's got a really fun story. So it's I believe it's about 15 minutes long. It's three songs in one. When you listen to it, you'll know what I mean. It's three songs in one. Every part just as good as the last, just as good as the next. It's such a good song.
Hmm.
Originally, the song was about having um, a wet dream about Charlie XCX. Yeah, that was what it was originally written about. And there's a bit of it left over, right?
Hmm.
The very last chorus is "In my bed sheet now wet, of Charlie I pray to forget." Um, what is it? I know the original. "In my bed sheet now wet, Charlie I pray to forget." In dream. No, hold on. I have to look this up because it's a really good lyric.
Wow.
It's something drone. We form the drone. In my bed sheets now wet, of Charlie I pray to forget. All I've been forms the drone. We sing the rest. Oh, your generous loan to me, your crippling interest. Um, it's not about that anymore. The song has transitioned to be about a lot more than that. That was like because this Basketball Shoes is the first song they had written for this album.
Hmm.
It's actually the entire album was based off of Basketball Shoes
Okay.
because they had been before they were Black Country New Road. They were called Nervous Conditions.
Okay.
They had two more members. They had a different singer, and the current singer just played guitar, and they had another drummer. Their current singer, I will not say his name, but he was not a nice guy. He did some very, very bad things, and deservedly so, got kicked out of the band. And the band kind of disbanded, right? But then the remaining members came back together to form Black Country New Road. So their first album is a completely different style of music. I think you might even enjoy it more because it's a lot more experimental.
Got it.
Um, Very progressive. Um,
Yeah, that might be
it's like
why.
post punk. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Uh, Beautiful album still. It's really good. But they had been playing that kind of music for a long time before, right? With
Okay.
this band, Nervous Conditions. So they were, it was already an old sound to them. So they had Basketball Shoes, and they were like, all right, we're going to pivot our sound, right? We're going to make music that's a lot more, I don't know, swelling, I guess, right?
Hmm.
And so in the time that it took for them to put this album together, Basketball Shoes has transitioned from being that risque song, right,
Hmm.
to being one of the most introspective, beautiful, I don't know, thoughtful, right, songs I've ever heard. I love it. It has genuinely, and I'm not a big crier. I know I've said I've cried to a lot of these. I've cried to some other music. But I'm not a big crier, right? I
Hmm.
don't cry at very many songs, very many movies. But this always just right wrenches my heart.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I genuinely and I have the deluxe obviously on vinyl. I have the box set, so it has a performance live from Queen Elizabeth Hall.
Oh, nice.
They performed songs from their first two albums there. There's a recording of that, so it was made during COVID. So it's
Mm.
not like a full on um, like live performance in that there's not like this full auditorium. The people they have in the crowd are part of their choir. Um,
Okay.
so it's beautiful. I would that is like it's one of the most beautiful concert recordings I've ever seen, if not the most beautiful. But I would highly recommend anyone to go at least check out. They finish it off with Basketball Shoes, and you can really see how much this band means to all its individual members, especially the singer. He ends the song on his knees, just right, pouring his heart and soul and like everything in him into this performance, and it's so good. I cannot praise it enough. So check it out for sure.
Nice. Yes, definitely need to do that. All right.
Also, little flex for their newest album, they had a Q&A, right? A live Q&A.
Mhm.
And during that Q&A, they sold 300 CDs where the band members would hand draw the covers
Oh, you got
and they
one.
would mark. I snatched one, dude. I snagged it. Like I was at work. I set a timer for that moment. Ran off real quick, ordered it, and they wrote on the CD in
Oh,
like a little
nice.
like middle school S. I love it. So yeah.
That is neat.
Now
Honor.
Benjamin, it's the big moment. Give us your humble mentions first.
Yes.
Honorable, whatever.
I talked about Rainbow earlier, and Dio being the lead singer for Black Sabbath, the second lead singer. He does this album, Rising. Really incredible. The last two songs, especially Stargazer and Night in the Black. Incredible songs on that album. Endless Skies by Ashbury. Barely made it out. Blew my mind when I heard that album, especially that opening song and Madman. The Grand Illusion by Styx. That is a progressive album. That's a really cool one. I have physical copies, but like I'm not pulling them out. Don't know where all of them are anyway. Love It First Sting by the Scorpions is really cool. Crunchy rock. It has Rock You Like a Hurricane. I don't know if you've heard. That's one of their most popular songs.
Yeah.
Ride the Lightning by Metallica. I like I like the early Metallica. Like the later stuff isn't, and the like most recent 2 or 3 albums, and then the middle stuff isn't my bread and butter for some reason. It used to be, but when I got into heavier stuff, I'm like, yeah, I like Ride the Lightning. Whitesnake's self-titled album, 1987. Really like that one. Crying in the Rain, one of the most amazing songs ever written. The Captain and Me by the Doobie Brothers. It's a really fun album. It's a nice classic 70s rock. Not even like very heavy rock, more like softer rock, I guess, but like, yeah, they're really good. And then Trilogy, Yngwie Malmsteen. So the guitarist for Alcatraz on that one, an album only, did his own solo career. Man, I don't remember. It's the final song off of that album. Let me look it up real quick. Because it's a certain, Trilogy Suite, Op 5. It's an instrumental, and it just shows his talent on the guitar. And then my final honorable mention I do have on physical copy. This one barely squeaked out. The Mantle took its place, but Physical Graffiti by Led Zeppelin. It's my favorite Zeppelin album of all time. Double album, probably the best double album I've ever listened to in my life. But that is an original copy. It's a really cool album. My number one, though, is my favorite band of all time. This is the first record I ever bought. Happened to see it just out when we were at it's the Country Reporter Festival.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so just happened to see it just there, and that was the first time we went to the festival, which I've been more times since, but that was the only time they had records out there for some reason. I happened to see Super Trooper by ABBA. And yeah, I can't not. Like, are there technically better ABBA albums? I don't know. But like, I just love this album to death. Opens up with Super Trooper. One of the huge hits on the album, not my favorite hit on the album though, if I'm being honest. Because The Winner Takes It All. That's an emotional song right there. She sings so well on that song. On and On and On is fun. I think that was that wasn't my brother's favorite song, but Andante is calm, melodic. Me and I end side A. Side B kicks off with Happy New Year, which is a fun New Year's song. I played it on New Year's one time, actually. Just because I'm like, well, I can. Our Last Summer is emotional, man. That is a sweet song. That is a beautiful song. The Piper's a fun. That's a unique song to them. They don't do songs like that. It's a very. I don't even know how to describe it. Just, I guess, listen to it and just see what I'm saying because it's unusual. Lay All Your Love on Me was my brother's favorite song of theirs. That's another one of the hits from the. That's a really good song. And then The Way Old Friends Do is a live song that ends the album, and they didn't record it as a studio version at all. But it's a really good song, and I can't like. I've always thought, are there other albums that I might like better than this one? And like, I this band got me into music. Like I wasn't huge in music until this band, and now like I'm like, I don't know like if anything's gonna top this album. And like I only did one album per artist, so like they could be like 5 of their albums could be in the top 5 easily, but like that one to me just barely edges out their other stuff. So yeah, that's my number 1.
I'm really glad that I did not think of ABBA while making this list, or else one of their albums for sure would have been on it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
We could do an ABBA ranking at some point.
we could. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you everyone so much for watching. Thanks for doing this, Simon. That was really cool idea, and
that was a ton of fun.
mm-hmm. And more to come from us. Next is going to be a rant because popular songs that we cannot stand, and I don't know if any of ours will be. We might have similar picks on some of them, maybe. Depends.
I don't know.
Because I don't think I have a metal song on here at all. Like it's mainstream for sure, but like
we might have 1 or 2, but I think mine are mostly going to be sleeper picks. I took a few of them from like their well-known bad songs in like the online music sphere.
Yeah.
I may have played 1 or 2 of these for you before, actually.
Probably.
I don't know, but I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Yeah. Look, it was all about like what we're excited about here. We hate what we. It's gonna be a rant.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Thank you for having me on, Benjamin.
Yeah, glad to.
Fun. Yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah, and more to come, and we can hopefully do this even more than just this episode and the next one. But thank you all so much for watching, and just keep checking out the content. We'll be releasing more, and as always, have a great day.